All right, guys, welcome back to the channel, Hillcreek Outdoors. Hey, we appreciate you guys coming back once again. Hopefully you're enjoying all things country and what we have to offer here at the channel. We couldn't do this without you guys. So once again, we want to appreciate you and thank you for coming back. But hey, we had a little bit warm up today. It's about 50 degrees outside, and it's been about 8 months since we purchased or received our 2022 Polaris Ranger XP 1000. So we wanted to definitely get you guys another review on it for the eight-month period on kind of the things we like and don't like about it that we've covered since then, or we've realized. So we're going to cover that today. We're going to give you the hours that's on it, how many miles we've driven. I mean, we use this thing every day. I mean, it's something we do for taking the boys down the driveway to get on the bus. We use it around the property for all different things. I know if you guys have been on the channel here recently or since we've started, you obviously seen that, but we use this thing like a workhorse. So we're going to cover those. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you guys know when we're putting up new videos. And hey, at any time that you guys have anything that you would like for us to cover or any questions, make sure you put it in the comments, because hey, that's how we can get that information out to you guys. That's the ultimate goal here at the channel, is for us to be able to answer your guys' questions as well as provide you information to help your lives a little bit better. So hey, without further ado, let's get into this review, and we'll hit it here on the 2022 XP 1000 Ranger Crew Cab Edition. Let's go. All right, so just wanted to cover a couple things real quick with you guys. Obviously, hey, Hillcreek Outdoors, right? That's why we named it what we named it. We live on a hill. We have a nice creek that goes by. But hey, as far as the Polaris Ranger XP 1000, we have 75 hours on the vehicle at this point, which it is 8 months in since we've actually received it. We have about 575 miles on the vehicle. The serviceability of it is very easy. We can maintain it ourselves, do the oil change, all that stuff we do all ourselves. You'll have to check out some videos that we're going to be posting on that as well. But there's only been one thing that we've had an issue with, and that is the front brakes. They squeak a lot. I know there's a lot of people out there that have that issue as well. But the other issue we had with the front brakes was they were locking up and sticking. So I took them off, took the calipers off, and greased them up, redid the whole thing, and we haven't had any issues since then. So let's get right into this video and let you know exactly what we do and don't like about the vehicle. Hey, we're going to start off with what we don't like, get that out of the way, and make sure you stay till the end, because we're going to cover all the reasons why we love this piece of equipment in this vehicle. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, so first thing we're going to cover, the things that we do not like about the Polaris Ranger, some of the fit and finish things. Okay, so first thing is this tailgate. It's kind of flimsy like, and it kind of slides left to right. It's not, I mean, perfectly ideal. So if you just slam this thing down and you go to shut it, this right here, it's going to hit and potentially damage your bed here, or even crack your tail light. I mean, you can see it hits right there sometimes. So whenever you shut this, you got to always slide it all the way to the right and then close it. But at the same time, look at there, it just pops back down. It doesn't always latch. See there? So the trick that I've found is you have to hold up on the handle here, put it in, and then you actually lock it down itself to where it clicks, and then it won't come down. So that's one thing that we really don't like. You can't just shut it, because it'll just pop right back down. You have to slide it over and lock it in and make sure it's not going anywhere. All right, so while we're talking about the bed, obviously we just covered that tailgate there. This thing right here, this dump feature, they say, oh, it's a one-handed thing. This thing is not one-handed. This thing is a pain in the you-know-what. My wife, she can't even open that thing. You really have to jerk it. It's just because it doesn't fit in these grooves very well. And then once you get it to open for a dump, if you shut it, it doesn't shut. You could be driving down a driveway and you hit a bump and look at there. It just pops right back off and your whole tail bed goes back up. So you really have to get some oomph behind it and make sure that it's latched back down. But this feature right here, my wife and our kids, there's no way that they can open this unless they put a lot of muscle in it, which sometimes doesn't happen. I mean, see, it wasn't even latched down there. Now it's latched, and I really have to jerk it. So that's a feature I don't really care for. I think it could have been a little bit better matched up. We've worked it. It's not like it gets better over time. So let's move on. If you guys have heard some of the reviews that we've done and things we use this Polaris Ranger for, you probably heard me talk about it before. But we keep this thing in work mode. That has work mode, standard mode, and performance mode. We always keep it in work mode because of how jerky it is. Work mode just gives you a little bit more control. But one thing I really don't like is the clutch system on this. It's very jerky, has a clatter to it, and it just kind of is annoying. I think that it could have been a little bit smoother, and I'm sure there's upgrades you can buy to upgrade the clutching system to where it's smooth and you don't have that jerking and that clatter noise. But as much as you pay for these things, I think that the Polaris should have done a little bit better job on that to where it's not so annoying. So next thing we're going to talk about is the paint. The paint quality on the Polaris Ranger XP 1000 has a little bit of improvement it needs to do. I have to touch up paint. So if you can see right here, I mean, you can see the rust, but it is all over this thing. I haven't touched that part up, but I touch this up all the time. I mean, you can see right here's a little piece. This paint just kind of flakes off. It's like the paint they put on these accessories on it are just not up to par, and it doesn't withstand the elements. Like, we shouldn't have to come over here and touch up paint on this when it's not being scratched up against anything. It's not like it's rocks are really hitting it too much or anything, but the paint just flakes off. I've touched this back here up, I can't tell you how many times, and the paint quality to where it just seems like it wasn't done right, to where it just flakes off. I don't really care for that, but maybe it's something they can change. Maybe I'm being nitpicky, but it's kind of where I'm coming from. So just one little thing, guys, is the switches. They're kind of bright switches. I just put a little Sharpie and cover them up because at night then things will blind you. So all you have to do is just touch them up a little bit with a Sharpie. All right, guys, so the last thing I'm going to cover of the dislikes about this Polaris Ranger is the way it free rolls. So if you're going down a hill and you have it in high gear, this thing's going to free roll. It's not going to hold itself back. And let me tell you something. When you live up on a hill with a 7% grade to a 14% grade and it's a half-mile long driveway and this thing doesn't hold back, I mean, if you put it in low gear, it'll hold back a little bit. If you got to keep tapping that gas, though, for it to hold back. Because if not, it's just going to free roll, and that's a dangerous thing. I'd like for it to be able to hold back a little bit, use some engine, but hey, that's the last thing I don't like about this thing. Other than that, let's get right into the things that make this piece of equipment absolutely stellar and why we bought it and why we love it. So let's get into it. All right, guys. Hey, the first thing about the Polaris Ranger XP 1000 Crew Cab Edition is that it has one of the smoothest rides for a stock shock system, suspension that I've rode. We tested out all the competition. I'm not going to go into the competition. That's why we didn't buy it, the competition. So that's why we bought a Ranger, because of the benefits that this thing has, and we're going to cover them right now. But this thing rides so smooth on gravel, dirt, off-road. I mean, if you got to transport it from farm to farm and you're going on a little bit of pavement, hey, this thing's smooth, let me tell you. So that's one thing we absolutely love about this. You can just enjoy your day if you're riding around, going on trail rides or whatever. You're not going to be beat around. So look at that. So I know I've covered it before, but the storage in a Polaris Ranger, is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you have storage everywhere. You have storage up top. There's places all over this thing that you have storage. Glove box. You have storage underneath, all the cup holders. You name it, there's storage in this thing. The ability to flip the seats up, have a bucket, lay things flat in there. Storage under the seats. You have storage there. You have storage under the driver's seat. I mean, we just keep our cleaning supplies in there. But the storage goes on and on. It just doesn't stop in the front. I mean, this thing goes on to the back. Look here, we got a buddy heater in here. Yeah, we've been hunting. Got a couple deer the other day and butchered them up, but took my boy out and he enjoyed it. So you got storage there. They're under the seats. I mean, you name it, there's storage. So that's one huge benefit to the Polaris Ranger. The overall bed on this is absolutely phenomenal. It's large. You can put all types of material in here. So for the bed, I would say it is stellar. It's not too small. It's just the right size, even with the crew cab here. So I definitely like the bed space. All right, so for the clearance of the Polaris Ranger, that's one thing that we really wanted. We wanted the ability to have clearance from stock, not add-ons, extra stuff. We're not into adding things onto this as far as bigger tires and things like that. We're looking to add on things that are usable, like our lights, LED lights, some tie downs, other things like that. So check out those videos that we have on some of the accessories that we've added. We have plenty out there on that. But the clearance on this, we're getting ready to post a video on how you can adjust the stiffness of it. But it also gives you another like inch to 1.5 inches of clearance. So you have to get ready to check that video out that's getting ready to come up. But the clearance on this thing is stellar. All right, so the last thing that I'm going to tell you is just the overall look of it. I mean, this thing's mean. It looks good aesthetically. I mean, look at this. All the different add-ons that you can do, the lock and ride system. It just has so much accessibility. The ability to add on with the plug and plays, with pigtails, all the switches you can put in, the winch. I mean, you name it, this thing has it. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You learned something. Let me know what you guys, if you have a 2022 Polaris Ranger XP 1000 Crew Cab Edition or any other Polaris Ranger, let me know what you guys like and dislike. Put it in the comments there. Those were just some of the things that we've found over the 8-month period of owning this piece of equipment. So hopefully you enjoyed, and you can move on loving your piece of equipment just as much as we do. So once again, thanks for coming back to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And here at Hillcreek Outdoors, we'll see you all next time.